I am a sucker for a new backpack. I love backpacks and other cases. So when I saw advertisements for this, the PGYTech drone bag, I bought it. Yes, that's right. I spent my own money to buy this backpack instead of just trying to get them to send it to me for free in exchange for the review. And I have been living with this backpack for the last 2 months. In fact, I spent about 5 of the last 6 weeks on the road. That's where I've been, living with this backpack day to day. So today we're going to look at the PGYTech drone backpack. We're going to see how it stands up. I'm Joshua Bardwell, and you're going to learn something today. I think the single biggest thing that makes the PGYTech bag stand out is that PGYTech is first and foremost a camera bag company. They make a bunch of different bags for camera equipment, and camera equipment is a much bigger market than drones. When you see companies making drone bags like iFlight or like Rotor Riot, a lot of times what it seems like has been done, in fact, a lot of times what has been done, is that company went to a factory in usually China, and they worked with the factory to design a bag to their specifications. But that factory doesn't have their whole name and brand on the line for making backpacks, and because you don't even know who that company is. The customer is Rotor Riot or iFlight or whoever, and they're going to bring you the backpack and hope you buy it and hope you like it. But they're first and foremost a drone company, not a backpack company. You see, so when you get a bag from a company that first and foremost makes camera bags, you often get a higher level of quality and refinement. We're going to see if that's the case here. And you also often get a little bit better engineering toward like ergonomics and functionality than somebody a drone guy who goes to a factory and says, hey, would you make me a backpack? Here's what I think I want. On the other hand, though, what does a company like PGYTech know about the unique needs of drone pilots? Maybe drone pilots will give you a better bag. Let's take a look and compare it to some of the other stuff that's out there and see. Let's start this review with the back panel of the bag, and like most drone backpacks, it is made to hold drones on the outside of the bag. This bag does focus on the ability to put drones inside the bag if you want to, but a lot of people are still going to put drones on the outside just because they have a bunch of crap on the inside. They don't have room for it. PGYTech has a little bit of an innovative way of storing drones on the outside of the bag. So we have right here these stretchy loops with this adjustable slidey thing. Let me just fix that. And one thing you can do is you take the stretchy loop, you take your drone, and you pass it around the motor. And then you cinch it down and cinch that down. And then you do that on all 4 of the motors, and then the drone is held very securely to the outside. If you've ever been walking around with a drone strapped to the outside of your bag with just the elastic straps or maybe some kind of like a cinch buckle thing, and then it just falls out, yeah, this prevents that. But I got to say, I found myself not using this feature very much. And the reason is, number one, if you have more than one drone to strap to the outside, it's a little bit cumbersome. Like, how do you put this around 2 drones' motors? It doesn't really work very well. The other thing is that even if you have only one drone, to take the drone off, you have to manipulate 1, 2, 3, 4 of the cinches, and it's a lot easier to just have the old style where the straps go across and you just stuff it down in there. You do have some versatility here. Each of these little straps has a hook on it, and there are individual, you can barely see them, but there's individual little places to put those hooks. I'm not really sure that's much better, to be honest with you. What I found myself doing most of the time is to just run this across to the other strap and run this one across to this strap, and that just makes a cross strap just like every other bag. Kind of feels like I'm ruining the whole selling point of the bag that they've got this cool feature, but I just didn't find it that particularly useful or for me most of the time. On this side of the bag, we have a huge, deep pocket. It has elastic around the top, which helps make sure that anything you put in there doesn't fall out. And I really like this. I really like this one. On some of the other bags I use, the side pockets are not that deep. Especially the Rotor Riot bag, when I stuff stuff down in there, it sometimes feels like it's at risk of just falling out if I turn the bag the wrong way. This was less so, in large part because of its sheer depth. and also because the opening is just a little bit tighter, I think, than the Rotor Riot bag. We also have this strap here, which can unhook from this little eye here, which, you know, could use to, if you have something like a tripod stuck in the side there, and it can just strap it down and hold it more securely. The side pouches are one of my favorite features of this bag. So on this side, let me turn it like that. On this side, we have, now they say this is for tools, right? Personally, I like to keep my tools in a separate toolkit that I can take out of the bag. I don't like to keep my tools in the bag because then when I'm working on my drone, I have to have the bag near me, and that's not always the case. So I use them for pens for me to sign autographs when my fans come see me. Okay. Stuck up much, Bardwell? It happens. It happens, okay? I use them for pens, and there's also a pouch up here. There's additional loops, stretchy loops here, so there's a lot of flexibility in what kind of stuff you would want to stick in here. I love it. I love this kind of organization. On this side, we have additional pouches. They are clear, semi-clear. You can see them from the outside. You can see what's in there. I got a smoke stopper stuffed in here, just like an emergency smoke stopper as a backup. And here I've got some adapters, like here's a USB OTG adapter, just these little, keep an SD card reader in there a lot of times, although it's not in there now. And we've got this pouch here, which it just zips open. I love this kind of storage, and I really loved it about the iFlight bag, which was my daily driver before I switched to the Rotor Riot bag. I desperately miss it in the Rotor Riot bag, but it has its pros and cons too. On this side, we have another deep pouch, very nice. Another strap here, very nice. And we have a similar, but not exactly the same, kind of organization. So on this side, there is more of these Velcro, although they're wider than the Velcro on the other side, so it's for different things. You can see I keep like USB cables there. I've got here a SpeeDV Beck. Here I've got an HDMI cable in case I need to like run my goggles out to a screen or something like that. And then I've got some MISC power cable stuff down in here. So this is like my cables, cables pouch. We have pocket here, and if we open this, there is additional sub organization here. We've got two additional little separated sub pockets. I adore this. I adore this. I'm not using all of it, but I love that it's there. I love the ability to have like things that I would want to just reach down and pull out and have them readily at hand without having to open up the whole backpack. Like, I just need a USB cable real quick, but not things like tools that I want to just take out. It's kind of like an intermediate step. I want the tools in their own pouch. I want some of these things in the bag, and then I want some of the things in the bag. I love it. Looking at the back of the bag, we've got these shoulder straps. I can tell you from weeks and weeks of carrying this, they're perfectly comfortable. They're perfectly adjustable. They are adjustable at both the top and the bottom for length. They have a little loop here to try and keep the tails secure, and the tails just come out of it. It doesn't work. The backpack also has a chest strap, and I really like the design of it because most of the time I don't want a chest strap. It just gets in the way and it messes up my nice shirt. But by the way, my nice shirt today comes from wrecked.com, WRECKD.com. And I'll put a link in the video description below. They didn't sponsor this video, but they did send me a giant box of t-shirts. And I figure as long as I'm wearing them on the camera, I should tell you where I got them because you're going to ask. So take a look down here. Here is the strap. I love this design because you can see that when I'm not using it, it easily just hooks to these little webbing loops out of the way. I could just remove it entirely if I wanted to. It will just pop right off. We've just got this little thing here, and it slides off. It is adjustable in length, and if I did want to use it, I just slide this up underneath, and slide it up underneath. It's really not that hard, and hook it on, right? There we go, and now it's hooked on. That's a little bit more cumbersome than just having a buckle, but I really dig that it's easily removable, very secure, and I usually just leave it as you saw it here, just strapped to itself out of the way in case like I have a particularly heavy load or I just need a little more support because I'm like moving through an airport and I'm walking a lot, and it's ready to go. Oh, what's this thing? This thing here is ostensibly a cell phone pocket. Obviously, you could use it for whatever you want. I don't know if, let me take my cell phone. So this is my cell phone. It's a Galaxy S24, I think. Does it fit in the cell phone pocket? Oh, but oh, come on. There we go. Just barely. Just barely. It's pretty stretchy. Like, it's like really stretching. What's waste? It's too big. It's too big. And frankly, I wouldn't put my cell phone in there anyway, because I just put my cell phone in my back pocket, so I have it at hand. You have to, but you know, I've used this for, like, I take my Bluetooth earbuds out in my wallet when I'm going through security at the airport, and I just tuck it in there. It zips up, so it's a little more secure than just putting it in a side pocket, and it's easily accessible when I get through security and can get it back out again. We're not done yet. This is a handle. I think it's a handle. What else would it be for? Is it for stuffing the backpack down through your luggage? Maybe it is. You put it sideways through the luggage. I could see it. We've also got this, which is definitely a handle, and having a little side handle like that has been more useful than I would have guessed. Like, I often will grab by this back handle here, right, this top handle, but the side handle, sometimes you don't want to lift your backpack up like that. You want to carry it sideways, and it's nice to have it. This back panel unzips, but the way that it unzips is super annoying. They had a reason for doing it that way, I think. It's super annoying. So we'll zip it around, it will lift off, and in here we have an additional big container. I have stuffed like a book down in here or paperwork down in here. I've stuffed props. This is great for props. You can stuff a ton of props in here, and they all just go in and they're held securely. What's annoying about this, though, is that it opens from the top or from the bottom. So, like, if I have the backpack and I'm sitting on the ground, right, and I need to open this up, I can't just unzip the top here and reach in and get something out. I have to unzip it all the way around, and then open. Nope, still can't get in it. I got to open it all the way up, and then I can reach in and get it. And I honestly don't know why they did it this way. Like, I said I think they have a good reason, but now I don't know why I said that, because I can't think what the good reason is. I assume they had a good reason, because it seems really dumb. Like, if you have drones on here and you want to lay this flat on the ground, you're going to open that flap, you're going to fold the flap open, and you're going to lay it flat on the ground. But I still don't know why it would be better to have it open from the top, or open from the bottom and not from the top. So that pocket is kind of not very accessible when except if you just have set the bag down and you're sort of fully laying it out. It seems a bit of a waste. Here at the top, there is a separate opening, and you may be thinking this is like the Rotorite bag or the iFlight bag, where they have a separate compartment on top that is made for the controller. It's not. That opening just gets you into the top of the bag. That's nice. It's just maybe not what you were expecting. We also have right here a small pouch that opens up, and it also has some subdividers in there. I don't know if you can see, there's some subdividers in there if you have small things you want to stuff in there, and that's great because it makes it easy if you've got small things like, I don't know, Bluetooth earbuds, or I spend a lot of time going through airports thinking about not losing my Bluetooth earbuds. It's like the number one thing I worry about. So let's look at the inside of the bag. We open it up, and ta-da! Here we get what might be one of the biggest selling points of the bag, and that is it is designed for a drone to go down inside it, except you can see here that in this configuration, this drone can't go inside it with props on. But wait. This is where I think the cleverness of a camera bag company, starts to shine, because I haven't seen any drone bags with this feature set. Check this out. This right here is adjustable. It's got multiple seams, multiple fold points, and this shelf here can go up and down. So just pull all this out, and by the way, this Velcro is fantastic. It's the best Velcro I've seen on a bag. Every bag that I've had, the Velcro kind of gives out. If not initially, then after a while. This bag, the Velcro has been amazing, and I've been using it a lot. So kudos on that. You can see here now, this folds over, and we have a shorter compartment down here, and a larger compartment up here, and now this can go in, and it's got plenty of room to go in with props on. There are various ways you could do this. Like I don't even really have to do this, but I will just for the sake of, in all the pictures from the company, the drone has 2-blade props. That's why we're having a problem here, because these 3-blade props are messing me up. Let's put this here. Is it not going to work? Oh, there we go. I got it. Okay. Yeah, so these right here have Velcro on just one side. It's very cool. It's got Velcro right on the sides and the edge, so it can kind of go in any which way. I don't think this is going to work. It's being pushed too far over, and now this one's not going to go. Yeah. Okay, so forget that. Just put it in there. And then this shelf goes down like this. Boink. And now we have additional storage. Very cool. You can also put your drone up on the top of the shelf, and you put other things on the underside, just depending on which order you want to get things out. Let's load this backpack up with a typical loadout for a day of flying for me. And that starts with, I guess, the controller. There's various ways you can do this. Like the controller could go here. You could get the controller in here. No, not really. Yeah, like most backpacks, this one isn't deep enough for me to feel confident putting a larger controller in like this. It just sticks out a little too far, and I would worried about it having pressure there. Could we put it in like this? No, antenna's in the way. That's just going to be a non-starter for me. We could try with some smaller controllers and see how they would work. So for me, the controller would go in like this. We're definitely going to want the antenna facing up. And I would probably put the goggles here, and then they're nice and accessible. Or maybe I would do them on the underside and the drone here. I'm not really sure. I can adjust this. Like I could move this up very easily. Just lift it up. And then do the same on the underside, the bottom. And that's going to make a little more space for the drone. And make the sticks, they're going to be up against my back. Yeah, I don't really like that. So let's do it the other way. Let's put the controller in here and the goggles next to it in here. Perfect. And now we'll give them maximum protection by moving these up as far as we can. All right. And just adjust that. So those sticks are... Oh, wait, no, we have stick protectors. The backpack comes with these stick protectors for your controller, these gimbal protectors. So we'll stuff those on. Sure. Yeah, he'll protect them. Why not? Good. Okay, so now the controller is relatively safe. And then we just put our drone in here. I've got my tool bag here. Have you seen this tool bag? It's so freaking cool. Whoa. Look at that. Oh, I've changed out the tools that are in it some since I first made it, but I've got a video I released when I first got this tool bag explaining why I think it's so great, showing how I kitted it out and telling you where you can get it. I'll put a link to that in the video description below if you want to see it. Where's this going to go? Oh, like right there? That works. Yeah, and then we've got some additional room here to throw some batteries, to throw some, loose odds and ends. That's what these two compartments would be for, in my opinion. Speaking of batteries, I should point out that the PGYTech Backpack comes with this battery case. It's pretty small. It does have a little pop-up divider here, I guess maybe for used versus unused batteries. I don't know. In my opinion, it's not big enough, really, to hold a significant number of batteries for a day of flying, at least for me. I guess it depends on what batteries you're using. It would fit like right down in here just about perfectly, and honestly, I just keep my batteries loose and chuck them in there. What if I had a smaller radio like the GX12? Could it go? Oh, and the GX12 has foldable gimbals too. So we fold down the gimbals. Can it go in here? Oh yeah, easily. That I'm more than comfortable with. So in that case, the GX12 goes in there, and then the Boxer comes out, and then we have even more room to, well, like I might take this toolkit and put it up here with my goggles. Oh yeah, that fits really well. We stuff that back down, and we have room up here. There's a lot of different ways you could do this. We put that here. There's a lot of different ways you could do it. The HDZero goggles are, for me, the other sort of acid test of a backpack. They are Well, they're not that much bigger than any other goggles until you add the analog module on the outside. And then in my case, I've also got the RunCam Wi-Fi link OpenIPC receiver stuck to it. And getting those in a backpack can be pretty challenging. Usually, there's just not a way to get them into these bottom spaces. Although on some bags, you have a second shelf that goes all the way across, and then you can just kind of tuck them down on that shelf sort of all by themselves. That's what I do with the Rotor-Riot bag. It eats a lot of space up out of the bag, but it is an option. And it's worth pointing out that this PGYTech bag doesn't have an option for a second horizontal shelf all the way across. I suppose you could order spares and do it. More about that in a second. But let's see where we would put these goggles. Are they going to go anywhere? Like, can they go like this? I probably wouldn't want to put them with the module facing up because, like, that's a hit point because it's the outside of the bag. I could just put them in here like this. Now these, and I'd probably take these antennas off just so they don't get damaged. They'll fit in there pretty easily, though. Maybe if I took the antennas off, I'd feel good about it. And if we were taking DJI goggles and HDZero goggles somewhere. So we stuffed the DJIs here. We stuffed the HDZero in here. Oh, that's not too bad. It's a little bit of a mess. It's not too bad. I could even just rip this out. You know, I could. I kind of like it holding them in, though. I would definitely take those antennas off. Slap that in. Slap that in, slap that in. Great. And hang on. Just stuff some more goggles in here. Here's my DJI O3 goggles. Yeah, you get a ton of room in this thing. The selling point that they advertise, oh, we could do that. We could get their drone in there as well. The selling point that they advertise is that you can get the drone in, and that does eat up some of the space. If you were to put the drone on the outside, you have even more room to cram stuff in here. You get a lot of stuff in here. A modern bag has to have a laptop pouch, and this one I think is pretty well designed. Here on the back flap, we have a big padded section for a laptop. It holds my 16-inch razor blade, no problem. I think it could probably hold a 17-inch laptop, although I'm not going to like stake my reputation on that, but it holds my 16-inch razor blade, no problem. There's a second pouch here that you could use for a tablet, or in some cases, like I'll stuff a magazine or a book or some papers down in there. It is also padded, and there is this little strap that goes across the top if you want, although most of the time I don't use it. The purpose of that is that if I flip this open, your stuff doesn't all fall out, but it's kind of in the way if the bag is closed up and you just unzip the top to slide your laptop out. So I usually just leave it off. Very happy with accessibility and safety and security of the laptop functionality. There is also, this is a little difficult to see, but there's also a separator here between the bottom of the laptop compartment and the bottom of the bag, so that as you set the bag down, the laptop isn't constantly conk, conk, conk hitting the ground. Very smart. At the beginning of this video, we talked about the difference between a bag made by a backpack manufacturer first and foremost, and a bag made by a drone company that is just sort of working with a factory to make a backpack bag. And I think one of the biggest things that stands out about the PGYTech as a backpack manufacturer first and foremost is the quality of the manufacturing and the quality of the materials. Just everything about this bag feels just that little bit more premium compared to some of the other FPV backpacks that I've seen. The only one that I think really stands up is like the Think Tank bag, which Think Tank is also a backpack manufacturer first and foremost, or the Lowpro bag. And Lowpro is a backpack manufacturer first and foremost. It's hard to convey in a video, but like all of the outer materials are like, they feel very durable. The construction feels very just solid in a way that some of the other bags feel just that little bit more sort of loose and floppy. The bottom of this bag really stands out to me because like this is kind of a rubbery fabric, and like on my Rotor-Riot bag, it had already started flaking off the bottom, and it's been fine. I've had my Rotor-Riot bag for like more than a year, maybe 2 years, depending on when it came out. I don't remember how long ago that was, but it started flaking off, and I was like, this does not inspire confidence. This bag has really held up to everything I've thrown at it, and it feels like it's going to be very durable and last a long time. It just feels very, very well made. The other thing that stands out to me about PGYTech being a backpack manufacturing company is that, like, I was looking at the way that these dividers were, and I was thinking, man, I wish that I could get like a couple more dividers here to subdivide this in some different way. Or I wish that I could pull this out entirely, not do this whole like drone on the inside thing, because like, here's another complaint I have. When you're like this, okay, anything you have here that isn't a drone is kind of rattling around and loose, right? So you open it up and it kind of just wants to fall all out. And yes, there are those little like dividers here, but like, I don't know, how useful are they? I didn't think they were that useful. Maybe there's a way to make them work. But then if you got anything underneath here, there's no way to get at it. Like you have to pull this up and it's kind of a mess. Yes, you can open this up and you can reach in and pull stuff out the top. And I did that sometimes, but this opening it's just not that ergonomic. It's just a little bit clunky. Clunky is a good word for what it is. So I thought, well, I just like to take this out, and I would like to just have another one of these. And I just do another divider here and have more room. You can do that. Look at this. Do you see how this says D right here? I'm not sure if you can see that, but it does. It says D. All of these dividers have a label. It's divider D, divider A, divider F1, F2, F3, and you can buy spares of them from PGYTech's website because they make backpacks. They make a bunch of backpacks, camera bags, bags for the DJI Ronin gimbal. They make a ton of bags, and they all have different combinations of these dividers, and you could just buy them, and you could, of course, it's going to cost you extra money, but you can kit this bag out any way that you want. You're not just stuck with the dividers that came with it. And the dividers, they're this new style of divider. This is not the first time I've seen it, but it's not just like soft floppy fabric with Velcro. It's like this rigid material, and it's thinner, so they take up less space in the bag. I love this style of dividers. I'm very happy with those aspects of this bag. The question that you're probably asking then is, Bardwell, is this your new daily driver bag? And in some ways the answer is yes, because in preparation for this review, I took it on like 5 weeks of travel, and in that it was my daily driver for those 5 weeks. I'm on the fence as to whether I'm going to stick with it. I love the build quality. I love that it feels very premium, very well put together. I love the side pockets with all I can get that stuff, and it's organized and it's not rattling around in a bag. I can easily access it. I love that it's a little bit smaller than like the Rotor Riot bag. I don't know what the nominal capacity is, but this is a whole lot easier to stick under a seat than the Rotor Riot bag. I love that because it's a little bit smaller, it holds a little bit less stuff. There were times when I stuffed so much stuff into the Rotor Riot bag that it was like, I was like, oh, what's this thing weighs like 60 pounds? I'm not sure it's made to carry that much weight. This thing, even when you stuff it about as full as it can get, it doesn't feel like it's overweight, and it doesn't feel like it's straining, on its own structure to hold the weight. The sticking point for me is the accessibility of that top section, and that might be solved by buying some different dividers. I might try that. Hey there guys, Joshua from the future here. I actually delayed the release of this video because I ordered a couple extra dividers for this bag so I could lay it out more like I thought sort of like my ideal layout might be, and I wanted to show you that, just sneak it into the video here. So what I've done is gotten another one of these shelves so that I don't have that vertical layout divider thing, and that means that now I can't get quadcopters on the inside anymore, but I kind of never do that anyway. I don't know, it's just not my style. And you can see this is, to me, so much more preferable. I really like the style of dividers that they have here. Like, you can see this one is extra long, and I'll just pull it out. It actually has these tabs that go to the back wall, which means you have a little bit more flexibility. Like if you didn't have a top here, if this wasn't here, you could kind of just fold this around, right? And sort of come over the top and still leave the top open. But I do, in fact, have an extra shelf. And so I can just kind of like shape this to be exactly how I need it for my controller. Just like, just kind of wiggle it around and get it exactly how I need it. So this is something that this style of divider allows that the other style of divider you see in a lot of other backpacks doesn't allow. The other thing is, like, if you look at like the Rotor Riot bag, having that separate pouch on top for the controller is very, very nice. It makes the controller much more accessible. I'm on the fence. I think that if you decided to spend premium backpack money on this bag, and it is premium backpack money, this is not like $100 like you just go get a backpack from Walmart or something. This is premium camera bag money. But if you decided to spend that money on this bag, it feels like it might not be a mistake, I would say. But before you do that, you should absolutely cross-shop it against some other backpacks that I've reviewed. And the two bags that I'm going to suggest were my two previous daily driver bags, the Rotor Riot backpack and the iFlight backpack. That iFlight backpack review is going to be a little bit dated, but I don't think much has changed about the structure of the bag. Nevertheless, I think it's worth watching. And before you plunk down your money on this one, see what backpacks designed by an FPV company, first and foremost, have to offer. I'll put cards on screen, 1, 2, to those videos, as well as links in the video description below if for some reason you can't see the cards. And I'll see you in the next one.